Alright, it's Wes. Welcome to this video. Today, you're invited to join me as I head out for some street photography with a couple of cameras and shooting with 2 cameras. Yeah, it was a challenge, and my goal is to measure, assess, understand, comprehend, and analyze which camera worked better for street photography. The Fuji, which is a classic street photography camera, it's known for that, or the Canon EOS R5. I threw on a blazer because I thought maybe if I dressed up, you would subscribe. All right, you're a beautiful person and a good person. And if no one has told you that today, let me be the first person to tell you that. Morning.
Good morning, how you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Good, good.
Hey, I'm just doing 2 tests comparing cameras. Do you mind if I get a shot of you?
Sure.
Oh, nice.
With the mask or without the mask?
Without is probably better. And, oh yeah. I already know which camera's better. 3, 2, 1. It does not want to find your eye. There we go, 3, 2, 1. All right, thanks. Now, on the surface, we can, draw a couple of facts out into the open. The R5 is clearly bigger than the X-E4, and more than that, the 28-70 RF lens is clearly bigger than the 28mm X mount lens from Fuji. Megapixels are roughly double the size on the R5. We're at 45 versus 26 for the X-E4. The sensor size is different. APS-C here, full frame here. So these are the known things. So let's dive into the unknown. The unknown. That's what we're here to find out. You mind if I get a picture of you? I'm testing my cameras out here. That's cool? Looks like a good morning for you. Chilling and having some coffee. Is that from the coffee shop here?
Yeah.
Oh, they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Are they open?
No.
Oh.
It's closed right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Yeah, you too. Generally wouldn't put these cameras in the same category, but if you shoot street photography, you might take either out, and I did. And when I did, I started to wonder how each would shine and would there be any surprises or disappointments when they went head to head on the same street photography outing in the same conditions with a similar focal length on the same subject. So I'm here to share the findings with you. One thing I found is I usually use the touchscreen when shooting with the R5 during a photo shoot. I rely on and you'll see this in the video, I rely on the LCD for composition, but I'm usually adjusting my exposure on the back screen, the touch screen. But I found in this street photography outing, while I used the LCD for composition, I relied on the top dial for my most frequent adjustment, which was shutter speed. And so instead of tapping on the screen to make that adjustment, I was just rolling the shutter speed. I was just adjusting the shutter speed with the top dial. So that led me to another discovery. Ergonomically, the R5 allowed me to much more easily adjust the shutter speed with one hand. Now, this was a 2-camera shoot, and I was always holding a camera. I was always holding a camera in each hand during the whole shoot. So the whole time, it was mandatory to shoot one-handed. And so you'll notice right here, I can't really get to the shutter speed dial with one hand on the Fuji versus I can on the Canon. It was actually easier to shoot on the Canon. Now this led to a specific outcome. I actually found in reviewing the images in Lightroom, I had more shots in a row on the Fuji X-E4 where I left the shutter speed the same as the image before because it was harder to adjust the shutter speed. And so I left it alone, which meant that more of my exposures were off sometimes because I hadn't adjusted the shutter speed when I needed to. Versus the Canon, it was a simple flick of the finger and I could dial in that exposure. Now you can call that lazy, I just call it a discovery. So the other thing is I wasn't able to nudge the focus point on the joystick with the R5, so you should be able to move this and move the the focus point. I have the X-E4 has a joystick right here, and I was able to nudge that with my thumb and make that adjustment and move the focal point around the LCD to move the focus point for the image. But on the R5, that's a setting that I'm not exactly sure where it is, and so if you know, please leave a comment and let me know. So obviously the things that I concluded, this was about a 30-minute street photography session. This I could shoot all day with. Obviously, this was gonna take its toll. Obviously, I could do more vertical shots here, and actually I took some on both, but it's easier to get that focal point when you have the articulating screen. But I wasn't hampered by the ability to look at the screen on the body and not flip it out on the X-E4. So let's see what happens here when we shoot the moon. 35 mil. And 35 mil as well. 640. So in other terms, things that I learned, I think the ergonomics surprised me on the R5. The lightweight, actually you'll see my shots are more sure in some of the footage. I'm able to click these off, and I think I shot more overall because I would take a couple of shots here versus holding this up was heavier, so I was trying to get that shot and move on. So what we're gonna do is just enjoy walking around downtown Fullerton. We're gonna see some of these moments that happened and compare it side by side, same moment, same light, similar focal length. Which camera, we're actually gonna zoom in and take a look at some of this footage, and we'll see which camera really shined, really shone, and we'll do a little pixel peeping. That's true, we're gonna do some pixel peeping. Now, also, I put a poll up on Instagram. So we have G Kraus. G Kraus. I just blanked on your first name. George? Glenn? Greg? I'm not sure. I feel embarrassed. Kraus Photo, G Kraus Photo. He said for the run and gun, he would go with Fuji. Then we have Evan, EV Worldwide. He said Fuji, pancake lens, go with that small size. Art Jimenez said Canon would be more flexible, but he'd probably choose Fuji. And then Neto Velasco says Fuji X-E4. So it looks like 4-to-1 on the Fuji street photography versus the Canon street photography. I think the next thing I'm gonna do is put a 35 mil, the little RF lens on here, and go out and do it the same and see what I think with that weight. So let's jump over to YouTube, see what people said on the poll I put on the channel. And all right, so it looks like it's about, ooh. So here's the quick poll on YouTube. Which would you choose for street photography only? 60% chose the Canon and 40% chose the Fuji. So Instagram favors the Fuji, like 4-0, or 100% of the votes here. 60% of the votes on YouTube are for the Canon for street photography. All right, thank you for joining me. If you got anything out of this video, please leave me a like, give me a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed, leave me a comment. I would love to know where in the world you're watching this video from, whether you're a Fuji shooter or a Canon shooter. These are my two cameras. I was gonna say loves, but I love the Fuji, I like the Canon. This is my workhorse for work, and this is my play camera for personal photos. So yeah, they're different. They serve different purposes. I'm blessed to have both of them. And in this shootout, what do I say about these two cameras? If I had to go shoot street photography, I would take this. Thanks for joining me, and please subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.